way to Arkansas to pick up a WRX Wagon. Engine's knocking in it, but it still runs and drives. So we're going to run down there, pick that up. Probably end up just ordering a JDM engine for it. It's supposed to rain when we get down there, so we're not going to film too much when we're there. So we'll just see you when we get back to the shop.
Alright guys, we got the Subaru back to the shop. It's been about a week now. We've already got our JDM motor in, sitting off to the side. So our goal today is just to get the motor pulled, get the accessories moved over to it, and then save the install for another day. As you can see, the car is a little rough. Clear coat's peeling, side skirts are falling off. It's got typical dents and scratches, but overall it's good shape. I didn't see any major rust or anything that might be a problem later on down the road. So let's get started on the swap. First thing you want to do is undo the battery and pull it out of the way. We then undo the cap for the radiator as well as the oil. That way they drain a little faster. Lucky for us, we got a lift, so it made this whole swap process a lot easier. But you could easily do this at your house with typical jack stands. Next, we drain the oil as well as the antifreeze. Now that the fluids are drained, we can undo the mounting brackets and pull the radiator out. If you can, use a shelf or a table of some sort to help keep all the parts organized that you're pulling off. Now we remove the hood, that way we got better access to the rear motor mount, and so we can hook up the chain up to the engine hoist later on down the road. Alex is now removing the hex bolt that hides the clutch fork rod, which has to be removed before you can separate the engine and transmission. You can then use the battery tie down to thread into the clutch rod. I actually found this tip online, one of the forums. I'd give credit, but I don't remember which one I found it on. Once it's threaded all the way in, just slide it out. I've already removed all the bolts to the downpipe, so now I'm just going to wiggle it up, pull it out of the way. And finally, remove all the bell housing bolts and the two motor mounts. and you're ready to pull the motor out. Alright, as you can see, we got the old engine pulled with the JDM engine sitting right next to it. We got to swap some things over. The JDM engine is an automatic, so we had to move the flywheel and clutch over. The clutch actually looks pretty good, so we're going to go ahead and reuse it. The owner told me he replaced it a couple thousand miles before the engine blew. We got to move the engine harness over. There's a couple broken sensors on the new motor that we're going to have to switch over and just do some comparing and see if anything's different.
Doing all the hard work. I'm going to run down to Riley's to get a few parts that we need. We need some intake manifold gaskets and sealers, small things like that. You know, pretty much any excuse I could use to leave the shop and then let her do everything.
With the engine out, this is a great time to push the car outside and wash the engine bay out really good. I also took this time to remove the wiper cowl and wash all the leaves that had been sitting in there for years. So that's a wrap for day one. We got pretty much everything moved over. Still don't have the intake manifold on. We're waiting on a aftermarket turbo pipe that goes underneath the intake manifold. So once that gets in next week, we'll go ahead and put the intake manifold back on. Everything else is ready to drop in. Got the engine bay all nice and washed. So we will see you next week.